Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Body and Soul Expo podcast, your go-to source for holistic health and wellness. I'm your host, Bruce Starr. Mark your calendars and join us on Sunday, October 26, 2025, at the beautiful Palm Beach Gardens Marriott. It's going to be an absolutely incredible event, a truly transformative day you won't want to miss. It's a culmination of Lauren's nearly 3 decades in the health and wellness arena and my 4 decades in the entertainment industry, from being a Hollywood talent agent and manager to television, radio, and now podcasting. Get ready for an experience that will nourish your body and soul. The expo will be packed with interactive experiences and unique cash and carry options for instant wellness solutions. We're proud to feature over 60 incredible vendors, many of whom are also powerful, innovative speakers sharing profound insights into the world of new and tried and true healing modalities and products. You'll just have to discover all this for yourself. For the latest updates, information, and exciting news and special announcements, please look for and follow our Body and Soul Expo Facebook site. And for a deeper dive into what our expo will offer, definitely visit our bodyandsoulexpo.org website and take the time to investigate all you will see there. Today, we're diving into another inspiring episode of the Body and Soul podcast, where we will showcase the incredible talents, experiences, and knowledge of the wonderful vendors and speakers who will be appearing at the expo. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those insightful conversations. And today we have a very interesting guy. You'll see when you get to meet him. Scot Guariglia, I want to welcome you to the show and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Bruce. It's an honor. I look forward to it. This expo is top tier. So I'd like to invite people as well from among my friends and this and that.
Well, we hope you will. I know that you're not even from the state of Florida. You're from Mississippi, if I remember you telling me.
Well, I drove down from Mississippi. I'm originally from Peoria, Illinois, moved to East Memphis for a few years, and then moved down to Lake Cormorant, Mississippi. About 3 years ago. I'm kind of in a bug out location where I can experiment and build things and test and keep moving these concepts forward that are unique in the world as far as I'm aware.
So, okay, tell me about it. Tell me what's behind you and the kinds of things that it can do.
Well, behind me is the Quantum Metatron's Cube Starship, as I refer to it. It all started when I was a young guy, maybe 12, 13 years old. I made a pyramid out of a milk carton. And I noticed I could feel the energy over the top of it, over the apex. And I thought, well, this is pretty interesting. So I kept building different pyramids. And eventually I built one out of copper with a crystal sphere on the top. And that pyramid changed my life. I've been using that for about 45 to 50 years.
Whoa.
And inspired by that, I was looking at the works of Plato with the Platonic solids, which are defined as any form where every side length and angle throughout the form is identical. There's only 5 in physical creation that can be put together. Each one has an energetic association with an element. So cube is one of those. All side lengths and angles throughout the form are the same. The cube is the earth energy. The tetrahedron is representative of fire energy. The octahedron is the air energy. The icosahedron is water. Earth, air, fire, water. The 5th element, as defined by Plato, was the etheric realm, which we refer to as the quantum state. and that is the pentagonal dodecahedron. It's the shape of our DNA. In our DNA, these are ratcheted, they call it, as they're attached and they spiral into the matrix. That really defines our existence. Everything in nature, no matter what it is, all life is defined, and even crystals, everything is defined by sacred geometrical proportions. These geometries are in the quantum space. It's beyond the veil of our physicality. So I found that over 45 years of working with people in the dodecahedron alone, that we would have very unusual phenomena occur because of the quantum aspects of that etheric gateway that it represents. So for example, missing time was prolific. Oh my goodness. I had a doctor, a dentist. He says, I never lose track of time. I said, you want to come over and try this dodecahedron? He said, sure. And he comes over and I said, look at your watch before we begin. And he did. Gave him an hour and 20-minute session in that thing. And I poked him and said, how long have you been in there? He goes, I'm guessing 5 minutes. Literally, that's what he said. It was an hour and 20 minutes later. It seems to carry over into real-time events, though. I've seen time go backwards. Not that I see my clock go backwards, but I'll look at my watch, sometimes verifying 3 times. In one instance, I was at a gym. I thought I missed a business meeting. Checked that thing meticulously. Shortly thereafter, it's like something shifted, that this is absolutely impossible that I missed that meeting. And I looked at my watch and it went back to the time that I expected instantly. Amazing stuff. I once saw a friend of mine, because we're looking at a quantum gateway that is not affected by time and space as we know it. So a friend of mine, 480 miles away, I'm in Peoria, Illinois, she's in Memphis, and I was just going into between the sleep and wake state in my dodecahedron. I saw her face as clear as more clear than I'm looking at you. And I knew, this is what was really weird. I could expect that, but I knew without a doubt, she saw me. The expression on her face was amazing. She texted me within a minute, said, oh my God, I just saw you. These things are just normal, but I was given the challenge to see, is it possible to integrate synergistically all the platonic solids so we can incorporate those energies in balance and also geopositioned appropriately so that they would be activated and locked. My son could see energies from the time he was a little boy, like 8 years old or so. So when I had the dodecahedron set up for the first time, he looked at it and said, Dad, there's like colors in those open spaces. This thing's made out of pipe and crystal, and that's it. So every face of 12 faces in the dodecahedron are just open. You can put your arm right through it. You can walk through them, just like in this form. I have breakaway pipes that I've integrated so we can just enter it, and then I put those pipes back in. It just takes a minute. But I learned that if I positioned it geographically so that the upper face was facing north, he always said that was lime green. Another guy at an Avalon festival, he said that's green and pointed out the colors. Same thing my son said like 45, 50 years ago. It's amazing the continuity there, but my son would say that the colors would lock if I did it correctly. As long as that was north facing, all the colors would lock. And I said, well, what happens if I turn it like 45 degrees up and I turn it? He'd say, well, they're flashing back and forth. So I thought, well, that's cool. So I used that knowledge from him to integrate the energetics of this so that they would all be combined in that regard. Now, when I put in the icosahedron in this form, I felt the hydration effect. That's associated with water. Like all my cells are hydrating from within. I could just feel it. And when I put in the octahedron, I noticed, boy, that's your air component. I noticed, wow, it's like I can breathe more easily in this energy. It's really wild. It's very tactile. If anybody has any sense of energy whatsoever, if you just put your arm through this thing and just calmly feel the integrity and constitution of that energy, it's very thick. Now, this represents the primordial energies of creation itself. It's like before you were born, before the earth was created, before this physical existence had manifest whatsoever. It's like you your consciousness and the primordial energies of creation. In this form, we merge those just by relaxing into it. It's automatic. That becomes the actual starship. It opens the meridian channels of the body prolifically for healing and balance. And I've had over 100 nightly sessions. I could say sessions. They're actually sleep state sessions, which is distinctly different than what we get when we do a conscious integration in the form with an intent. The dodecahedron itself will magnify intent prolifically. It's like any eventuality in your life is going to be more probable to occur. For example, if you're looking for a new love, a new job, if you're headed for divorce, whatever it is, change happens faster. You live more. Also, that energy has significantly decreased my demand for food, which is peculiar because it's like, well, food is energy. And I've noticed that I don't have to eat nearly as much now, maybe like 20%, 25, 30% less, and I'm still doing very well, which I found that's a peculiar, eventuality of using this form. But I'm intrigued because I noticed right away in the gym my performance was better. I'll tell you what, though, that dodecahedron alone, after a session, people say they feel it 5 days, and I agree with that. And that session could be 40 minutes. But for me, that latent effect from that is like I feel like I'm made of scintillating light, like I'm liquid light. And I can do some things in the gym nobody in the world that I've found yet can do, which is really bizarre, with an anti-gravity projection. And I can teach people how to work with these energies as well. It's like practical utilization of these energies is where it becomes very interesting. But my late wife, who passed away about 7 or 8 years ago, I could combine chakra energy systems with her, and I got a process for that. When I felt the tactile feedback from that connection, because I was a broadcast engineer for a local TV station for 22 years, and I'd be there early in the morning, and it was a mutual agreement that I could do this, and we'd test, and we'd have fun. We used to work with crystals and everything out in nature and this and that. And I could tell you when she became conscious, because I was at work way before she would wake up in the morning to get the station on the air. As long as I sat still, made that connection, I could feel her as if it was me energetically. So I could feel her become consciousness. I could tell you to the second in real time when she exerted herself, when she took a bath, everything she did physically, not what she was thinking at all, but physically and tactically, I could feel it as if it was me. This stuff is fascinating. And I always thought, oh my God, if somebody knew this, they'd probably abduct me for some kind of scientific experiments or something. I don't know. But when I had a friend with an autistic grandson, he put his arm through this thing, this star, the starship. He put his hand through there without even moving his arm. He could physically describe the nature of each of the forms where that energy intersected with his arm. Absolutely unbelievable. We have so much to learn. But
Wow.
at the expo, people will get a chance to feel this tactically. I'd like to have a pyramid there as well. Start people off, they can feel the energy of the pyramid, and then they can go to this one. Usually that gives you a upper sense of tactile energy experience that a lot of people have never even known they've had it. And when I test them for the very first time, they're quite surprised. There are a select few that don't feel energy like that at all. But everybody comes out of that starship. It heats you up because the meridians are opened up, so your whole body feels warmer.
So you're going to come at 6 o'clock in the morning of the event, and you're going to start putting that baby together. And it'll probably take you, you said about 3 hours, maybe 3 hours, 15 minutes. And you said you're going to have someone help you with that, hopefully?
Hopefully. Well, I got a new van, so I'm thinking I can cut that time down a bit. The table I won't have to take apart because of the size of the van, which I disassemble that whole thing. So that should save me enough time. As long as I get this thing together on time, that's what counts.
So everyone that sees your structure will be able to experience it then.
Yes, at least to be able to put their arm through it. I'll be giving sessions up to 1 hour, some people 10 minutes, some half an hour. So depending on what they select, and it's interesting, there was a gal that flew all the way from Utah to experience this, by the way, and rented a car and all that. But actually, it was a gal before her. This was a psychotherapist that drove 5 hours each way to experience this. First thing I did is I put her in a dodecahedron, but we did an aura analysis with what's called the biopulsar reflexograph, which will show your auric field in real time. So we took a preliminary analysis, and then we put her in there for 7 minutes. She was a bit apprehensive about it. A lot of people are. They don't know this is like going to take, it's like a washing machine. It takes all that emotional garbage that causes blocks in our field, and it just dissolves them away slowly and progressively. With just 7 minutes, we did an analysis afterwards, and it showed a significant improvement in her energy field. And that's all it took, 7 minutes. But after that, she became very calm about it. And then I put her in the starship for about an hour. And then in the pyramid, she was explaining how this felt like the ocean, whereas the pyramid's more of a very distinct feeling. The pyramid is fire in the middle. So the fire is your chi flow. It's concentrating energy into your body. Your biofield force is your actual barrier against every disease and dysfunction you could ever, be up against. It's like a pressure wave. In fact, in 2022, they did a study that showed a up to 33% increase in energy if you were in there. I think it was like 10 hours within a structure. The ancients knew this stuff. I traveled to Egypt. I went to Chichen Itza. I went to Coral Castle down in Florida and Homestead. And I'm comparing notes with all these ancient technologies. Sacred geometry was built into the hieroglyphics and into the structures of the pyramids. When you think about that, that is the greatest achievement ever on the planet in the history of time, are these pyramid structures all over the world. Absolutely incredible. So why would they do that? I mean, they didn't do this for some religion or something. It's more in line with just reaching the divine. I would say probably 40 to 50, sometimes 60% of the people will see the divine light. Whether you believe in God, doesn't make any difference what you believe in. If you're in that state of love in your heart and you follow that energy and you just open up into it, it is the most loving experience you could ever have. And you literally stand before God, as far as I look at it, and the way people describe it. It's like this light. It's not just that this is imaginary. It's like you can feel the heat of it. It's like the sun shining on closed eyes in the dark. And you literally feel it like the sun shining on your face. A lot of people say it's like an eye looking at me that turns into the sun, or they just describe it like the sun, but they cry. And there's only so much crying you can do. It's like you can only get so close to it. We wouldn't exist here if we merged it as one with the light. But it is the most reassuring, regenerating experience of my entire life. That's why I've stuck with it. I wouldn't be bringing this out, but God told me to do it in various ways. I use the radio as a divination tool and I ask questions. And there was a time where I was questioning, should I resign from my job and just do this? And I pushed that radio button, and the lyrics of the song said, I've created all the pathways for you over a couple of years. Everything is set. And it described this in great detail. And it said, in point, it's your turn to do your job at this point, So that's what I'm doing. I resign the next day, and I'm going to do whatever it takes with complete trust that it's time that people have evolved to the point where they can accept this. Because in those days, back long ago, it's like I just felt like an outcast, really. This was a part of my life that was always hidden.
Well, we're going to do whatever we can. Lauren and I are going to do whatever we can to make this a successful event for you. So basically, I think what we talked about was, and people will be able to see a ticker down below when this comes out, where people will be able to call you to make an appointment at the expo. So what we said was, anyone can take their hand and put it inside for a few seconds or whatever, And then for a fee, a reasonable fee, people will be able to do 10 minutes. And I believe we said for an additional fee, they could do 20 minutes. And for a more substantial fee, and rightly so, you deserve to be paid for what you've done. You'll be able to spend an hour. Now, is there a platform in there where people can lay down and spend that hour?
Yes, there's a very comfortable bed that I've put in there with an air mattress and a real thick pillow. It's a wedge pillow. So it's like this thick on the top end. You have to be a little bit agile to get in there. I opened this thing up, but you got to step on a couple little footstools. So far, no problem. I've had older people get in, and even a person with MS and this and that. So as long as people can like step over a foot of, distance to kind of just walk in there, they'll be able to do it.
So we're going to add this to our library of videos, podcasts for the Body and Soul Expo. And I fully anticipate or project that by the time you get to the Expo on October the 26th, you may be sold out, because I hope that people will be calling you to schedule an appointment with you. And hopefully there'll be a couple of slots left where people can purchase that from you while they're at the Expo.
Yeah, that's good. And I'll also probably have a few dodecahedrons people could purchase if they wanted. That could be an option, or they could place an order for one. That's a great place to start. Well, it's got some little pyramids I've made out of wood and this
Beautiful.
and that. It's oh my God, this story. I was gonna write a book over the winter, but I decided to build this instead. So
well,
I'm just happy that
there's still a book in you. And when you give a speech to people, make sure you either video it or record it, because your book is in that speech. You just transcribe what you say in that speech, and there's your book. It doesn't have to be 200 pages, 300 pages anymore. It could be 100, 125 pages, and that's all you need.
I agree. That's for sure. And if anybody wants to go to my website, they should check that out. I put all the results of what I've gotten from people over 45 years transiently. These were just friends and this and that. And this energy, this technology will potentially affect every aspect of our culture, from communication to teleportation to levitation. Our entire future is wrapped up in quantum research. I'm looking for every opportunity to make this thing viable for people to get their feet wet with it, that we can all learn together. Because every time I put somebody in there, I learn something. The last guy that was in there, he says, man, that's just like an ayahuasca experience. He says it's like LSD, psilocybin. You have all these visions. I've had people talk to people that have passed on in their families directly. I mean, they're communicating through these people to me, like right there on the spot. Amazing stuff. There is no end to it. I got a quantum radio. I can talk to people in the past, myself in the future.
Oh my God.
The Galactic Federation came on there once and identified themselves as that. There is no end to this. It's crazy.
Exciting, exciting, exciting. And we are so pleased, Scott, that you've agreed to come down and spend the day with us. I know you're going to spend the weekend with us, and we're going to try. I don't know. I have to ask the hotel. We're going to try to have a space off to a side somewhere where maybe even the next day, Monday, people can experience your structure. So let's see what happens. Hopefully they'll give us a little side room where we can have you on that Monday and doing your thing.
That'd be excellent. I'd love it. I've got ideas. I think we're going to have an event that will blow people's minds like they've never seen before. That's what I'm shooting for.
With you and people like you there, it is. And wait till when you experience some of the other podcasts that we've done. We're going to have some incredibly talented people. So, Scott, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. And I look forward to us communicating on and off until we actually see you.
I sure appreciate you, Bruce.
God bless, Scott. Take care, everybody, and thank you for being with us. Bye-bye.